Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're diving into a really classic technical tool that's all about one thing: momentum. It's called the rate of change indicator, or ROC for short. The best way to think about it? It's basically a speedometer for the market. You know, every trader has stared at a chart and asked this exact question. You see a stock moving, right? But how do you know if that trend has real strength behind it, or if it's just about to run out of gas? Well, that's precisely the puzzle the rate of change indicator is designed to help us solve. Okay, let's really lean into this speedometer idea because it's the perfect analogy. See, most indicators will tell you which direction the market is heading, but the ROC adds another layer. It tells you the speed of that move. Is the price accelerating hard, or is it starting to slow down? That's the game-changing insight you get from the ROC. So, to get a little more formal, the rate of change is what we call a pure momentum oscillator. Its entire job is to measure the percentage change in price from one point in time to another. It's so fundamental to the concept of momentum that some platforms just call the indicator momentum.
Okay, so now that we know what it's supposed to do, let's pop the hood and see how this thing actually works. You might be surprised at how simple and elegant the calculation really is.
The math behind this is beautifully simple. Seriously, you just take the most recent closing price, then you look back a certain number of periods, we'll call that N, and grab that closing price. Then you just figure out the percentage change between those two prices. That's it. There's no complex weighting or smoothing involved. It's just a raw, pure measure of price change over time.
And this quote right here sums up the most basic way to read the ROC. The whole indicator pivots around a zero line. If the ROC is above zero, it just means today's price is higher than it was N periods ago. Momentum is positive. If it's below zero, today's price is lower. Momentum is negative. It's really that straightforward.
Now that N value, the look-back period, is really important. It's the main setting you control, and it completely changes how the indicator behaves. If you use a short period, say 7 or 14 days, the ROC becomes super sensitive. It'll give you a lot of signals, which can be great for short-term trading, but it can also be pretty noisy. On the other hand, if you use a long period, like 200 days, it smooths everything out and only shows you the major, long-term shifts in momentum. All right, so we've got the mechanics down. Let's get to the fun part. How do we actually use this in our trading? How do we turn this momentum data into concrete ideas? Well, there are three key signals that traders are always watching for. The first and most straightforward signal is the centerline crossover. This is simply when the ROC line moves across that zero level we were just talking about. Think of it as the moment the balance of power might be shifting from the bulls to the bears or vice versa.
So a bullish crossover is when the ROC climbs up from negative territory and crosses into positive ground. This suggests that upward momentum is starting to build. And on the flip side, a bearish crossover is when the ROC falls from above zero to below it, which is a warning that downward momentum is starting to take control.
The second type of signal is all about identifying extremes. Since the ROC is our speedometer, a really high or really low reading can suggest that a price move has gone too far too fast. It's kind of like a rubber band being stretched to its limit. At some point, it might be due for a snapback. We call these overbought and oversold zones.
Now here's the catch, and it's a big one. Unlike other oscillators like the RSI with its classic 70 and 30 levels, the ROC has no standard overbought or oversold levels. They're different for every single asset. For a big, stable stock, a 5% move might be an extreme. But for a volatile crypto coin, you might need to see a 20% move before it's considered overstretched. You have to be a bit of a detective and look back at that specific asset's history to see where the ROC peaked and bottomed out in the past.
And that brings us to our third and maybe the most powerful signal of them all, divergence. This is what happens when the price on your chart and the momentum indicator start telling you two completely different stories. And when that happens, you really want to pay attention because it can be an incredible early warning sign.
So, what's this look like in practice? Well, imagine a stock's price pushes up to a new high. Awesome, right? But then you look down at your ROC indicator and you see it's making a lower high than it did on the last price peak. That's a classic bearish divergence. It's like the car's speedometer is showing a lower speed even though it just climbed a bigger hill. It's a huge warning that the upward momentum is fading. And the opposite is true for bullish divergence, where the price hits a new low, but the ROC makes a higher low, suggesting the selling pressure is easing up.
Okay, so we've got these really useful signals, but it's so important to be realistic here. The ROC is a fantastic tool, but it is not, I repeat, not a crystal ball.
And just like any other indicator, it has some awesome strengths, but also some really important weaknesses you have to know about.
On the plus side, its biggest strengths are its simplicity and its incredible versatility. It's easy to understand, and you can slap it on literally any chart, stocks, Forex, crypto, you name it, and on any time frame, from minutes to months. And, as we just saw with Divergence, it can sometimes give you that crucial heads up about a trend change before it's obvious just by looking at the price.
But, and this is a big but, it's not perfect. It's notorious for generating false signals, especially when the market is just chopping around sideways. And it makes sense, right? If the price isn't moving very far from where it was N periods ago, the ROC just whipsaws back and forth across the zero line, creating a ton of noise. And always remember, because it uses past prices in its calculation, it is by definition a lagging indicator. So the bottom line is, you should never use this thing in a vacuum. You always need to look for confirmation from other tools.
And this quote really sums up the golden rule here. All the sources agree on this. The rate of change indicator is at its absolute best when it's just one part of your overall trading plan. You use it to confirm signals from other things like chart patterns, volume analysis, or moving averages.
So the next time you pull up a chart and you see a trend, I want you to ask yourself a new question. Don't just ask, which way is it going? Ask, how fast is it going? Because once you start adding the dimension of speed to your analysis, you unlock a whole new way of understanding what the market is truly doing.